Satang Prasanga.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, and welcome to today's session. I pray that all is well with you and your families at this time. So today we're moving on to the next sutra, and it goes as follows. Telling yourself the truth about Krishna restores a more accurate perspective. We learn this from Shastra, from the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. We may learn and even memorize Krishna's words and promises and his pastimes of dealing with devotees in the past. There's an interesting story. Srila Prabhupada was being with the panel of professors, and he was sitting, and one of them asked him, Swamiji, how do you prove that you can see God? How to prove that God can be seen? So Prabhupada said, Bhagavad Gita is saying, Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, I can be seen. Bhaktimam abhijanati yavanyas chasma tattvataha. You do that? You know Prabhupada's strong character. So he says, but we are scientists and we are scholars, so we need to see proof in front of us. And then Prabhupada pulled out this gem. And then he says to this professor, he says, Professor sir, do you have intelligence? And the professor was like, where is this question going to? And the professor said, I think so, I'm a professor of a faculty. He said, if you have intelligence, put it here in my hand, I want to see it. And the professor was dumbfounded. And he says, no, Swamiji, you understand intelligence by symptoms of intelligence. And Prabhupada says, yes, creation is symptoms of the creator. And the professor was dumbfounded. He couldn't argue against that. This creation is symptoms of a creator. Therefore, we can understand that there must be a creator. Look at this creation. Look at the variety. Look at the balance. Look at the way efficiency it works. Purnam adam purnam midha. Everything is complete here. Purnam. So when we're convinced about Krishna philosophically, still to get Krishna, we need an intense amount of loyam, greed. The Shastra's Nectar of Devotion describes Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Nidhi Trayatum Kutopi Nalabhyate Tatra Loyam Api Mulyam Ekalam Janma Koti Sukriti Nalabhyate. Says this Krishna Bhakti Rasa, this relationship with Krishna, is so special that after Janma Koti Sukriti, you can have millions of lifetimes of Sukriti. Nalabhyate. You won't get it. It can only be given by the devotee. Sa eva mayate dhya yoga prokta puratana bhakto sime sakacheti rahasyam yettaruttamam. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying that if you want to understand this rahasya, this secret, then bhakto sime sakacheti. You have to approach the devotees. Philosophy takes us to a certain point, and karma, serving, gives us a certain fulfillment. But if you want to have that relationship with Krishna, that needs loyam. So the Vedas are teaching us how to get maximum enjoyment out of the material world. You're not going to get more maximum than that. We can't create another process other than that. And then that would be authentic, bona fide, and according to the way nature has been planned by Krishna. So in that way, in accordance with that, if we enjoy, then it won't be vikarma, it won't be sinful activity. But if we try to plan separately from that using our independence, then from karma it will become vikarma. But the same process dovetailed in Krishna consciousness becomes akarma. Whatever you want to do, if you do it in connection with Krishna consciousness as Krishna has orchestrated and requested, then it becomes akarma. No reaction. Not only sinful reaction, no reaction. So you're acting, but you're not getting any reaction. What is it? You're performing devotional service to Krishna. And in that way, at the end of this lifetime, then yadgatvam nanivartante tat dhamam paramam mama. They come to my dham, my abode. So it's a very wonderful process, Krishna consciousness. It doesn't allow, it allows Vedic sense gratification. It allows you to enjoy your senses within the paradigm of the Vedas. As soon as we exit out of the paradigm of the Vedas, it's vikarma and we get reaction. Remember, for us to enjoy, so many factors have to be created, and we can't create any of that. That's all created by Krishna. So the weather has to be right, the people has to be right, the atmosphere has to be right, the health has to be right, the mood has to be right. So many factors are involved which we take for granted. So until all of that is there, then only we can enjoy. Otherwise, if one of those things are out of balance, if somebody gets upset or angry, and then the whole mood of all the other factors are there, but that one thing disturbs the whole experience. So we can see all those things are not arranged by us. So many factors. Who is arranging all of that? Krishna. That's why intoxication, like alcohol and drugs, is an illusion within an illusion. Because we go into an altered state, already being within an illusion. So in that altered state, doesn't matter what the environment is. We already within our own environment. And we've created our own bubble. So we're completely aloof to everything outside. So within this illusion of this material world, we create our own illusion. And therefore we are in samadhi. None of the factors affect us. So in the Brahma Vimohan Leela, 10th canto, Srila Prabhupada says that one who has limited senses, he cannot argue against something that's inconceivable. And Krishna is inconceivable. Achintya. Because it's inconceivable. Achintya. We have limited senses, and because we can't understand what is God through that, then we say, oh, there's no God. That's foolishness. We have so much faith in science and technology that we feel we can just rule the whole material nature. And then Krishna sends Karuna to be Karuna to us, to be merciful to us. And then in one moment, the whole civilization collapses. This is not even Krishna, it's a material, part of his material energy. This is just another entity on this planet, and it completely brings us down to our knees. So imagine what is the power of Krishna. This is just another material entity, Adi Bhautik. This is just another entity giving us trouble. And we completely crumble. The World Health Organization is saying it's going to take almost 2.5 years before we get a vaccine for this virus. So we're not even bewildered by Krishna, we're being bewildered by his material energy. That's why Krishna says, Nam sarvasya prakasha yoga maya samavritaha. That I cover myself with my yoga maya. I cover myself so that ordinary people cannot understand. That's why if we want to develop faith in Krishna, it's not going to be through the eyes, it's going to be through the ears. We have to hear about Krishna. So today's sutra is saying, telling yourself the truth about Krishna restores a more accurate perspective. We know philosophically Krishna is matta paratana nanyat kinchit asti dhananjaya Mai sarvam idam prokta Sutra maniganayava. Chatur Sloki Gita, 10th canto, 10th chapter, verse number 8 to 11. So he says, Matta Paratana Nanyat, everything, Sutra Maniganaiva, is resting on me. And then Arjuna's revelation, after this Chatur Sloki, Para Brahman Param Dhaman Pavitram Paramam Bhavam Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum. You are the Para Brahman, Krishna. Param Dhamam, you are the abode of everything. Pavitram, you are supreme pure. Paramam Bhavam. Purusham Shashvatam Divyam. You are a person, but you are the original divine person. Divyam. Purusha, you are a person. You're not formless like the Mayavadis say, or impersonal. But you are Divyam and Adi Devam. You are the original person. So these devotees were going on a morning walk and Prabhupada was talking about the sun. And the devotee was saying, just like how the sun is covered by the cloud. And Prabhupada immediately stopped. And he said, it's not that the sun is covered by the cloud, you are covered by the cloud. Oh, that was quite profound. And then Prabhupada went on to explain that everything that covers the sun is a byproduct of the sun. Rain, cloud, water. So it cannot cover the sun. It's a byproduct of the sun. So what it's doing is it's covering you. If you can see that, then you'll realize you are being illusioned. That's why you can't understand Krishna in truth. We somehow have the notion that if we worry long enough and hard enough and with enough determination, then the problem will be solved. And we see it doesn't work that way, but yet it drains all our energy because again and again the problem spins in the mind. The real problem is, if you take an assessment of the situation, is what about the situation I cannot accept? What about the situation I cannot accept? That is the problem, not the whole problem. If you just focus on that part, give that part some energy, then you can work towards working it out. But if the whole thing becomes a problem, then it disturbs on a macro scale. It becomes bigger and bigger. And it starts affecting relationship. It starts affecting so many things. So there's a nice story. This little child was playing on the floor and the father was reading the newspaper. And the child said, Papa, please, can we play? And the father said, okay. So he wanted to read the news. You know how it is, right? When it's time out and father wants to read newspaper, you give him his space. So what he did, one part of the paper that he's finished read, he tore it out. And it had a world map on it. So that world map he tore into different pieces. And he gave it to the child and he said, okay, if you can put this world map together, we'll play together. And he said, this is gonna... You know how it is when you want to keep children busy. No, this is gonna keep this fellow really busy. So this child, within 2 minutes, he put it together. And the father said, hey, how did he do this? He's only a few years old. And then the child was looking at the father and said, Papa, I know you're surprised at how I put this together. I don't know where these different countries are. But on the other side of the paper, there was a face of a man. I know where the eyes go, nose go, mouth go. I put all that together from that side. And on your side, you are seeing that the world is perfect. So there's a very deep philosophy there. That if you change the man, then only the world can change. You can't change the world if the man doesn't change. You get the man right, the whole world will be right. So we see in the pastimes of Krishna interacting with his devotees. So we see both husband and wife, both of them depended on their own strength at first in order to solve their problems. Draupadi, Arjuna, on the chariot, he said, no, Krishna, I cannot fight, I better run away. And that, I think, will solve my problem. And Draupadi tried at first, negotiation, tried with her own strength to pull back. And none of that worked. And then they both cried out to Govinda, Krishna, please help. Leaving the problem at his feet, knowing that he's the only one that can help at the end. So I hope you enjoyed today's class. Please join us again tomorrow. Hare Krishna.